If you've ever worked out in a public gym, then you've definitely witnessed many, if not all of these rude acts take place before you. If you're new to my channel, I'm Ben Murphy, self-proclaimed gym rat of the year. Because I've spent so many hours in the gym, I've personally firsthand witnessed these things many times myself. I'm making this video for new gym goers so they know what proper etiquette is and what not to do when they get into the gym, to remind them or you that if you're currently doing anything on this list, you're being an asshole. Let's jump right into the thing that pisses me off the most. Number one, standing in front of the dumbbell rack to do your exercise. Nothing else on this list quite irks me like this. For those of you that don't know, what I'm talking about is when somebody walks up and grabs the pair of dumbbells that they want from the rack and then stands there not getting out of the way for others to perform their exercise. In my opinion, this is extremely rude and self-centered. What you should be doing is walking up, selecting the weight that you want, taking this pair of dumbbells, and then farmers walking them away a few feet either back or left and right, perform your exercise, wait till there's no one in the way, and then go and return the dumbbells that you just used. What I'll see too often is somebody walk up, grab the dumbbells they want, and then just not get the fuck out of the way. To me and many others, this is obvious and just common courtesy to not stand there blocking multiple pieces of equipment that's made for everyone and not just you. Even if you're performing just a simple bicep curling exercise, you still need to take the weight that you have and walk a few feet away. When I see someone standing from the dumbbell rack not moving, this sends a message to me that they think they're better than everyone else there and that their time is more important than everyone else's. No one's time is more important than anyone else's time. Please just take your dumbbells and walk away and do the exercise somewhere else. I don't care if you're doing bicep curls, RDLs, side lateral raises, it doesn't matter to me. Now, I'm not gonna go as far as to say that this is dangerous. However, what I have seen is somebody who's already performed their exercise and is gassed, expecting to go back to be able to return their dumbbells and rest right after, but they can't because someone's in their way. Now you're causing this person to stand there and expend more energy just to hold their weight when they thought they were already done. This can definitely negatively impact the rest of someone else's workout because now they're expending energy on an exercise that they don't even want to be doing. Just get out of the way. Number two, taking up multiple pieces of equipment at the same time. I know everyone gets excited when they see their favorite piece of equipment not being used and speed walks over to grab it before someone else does, which is totally cool. However, when they get to that piece of equipment, they find either a sweatshirt or a water bottle in place of what should be an actual human being. You do a full 360 look around because you're giving someone the benefit of the doubt and maybe they went to the restroom mid-exercise. However, then you see someone on another piece of equipment get off and walk up and say, "Oh, I'm using that." Let me explain this for everyone that doesn't know. In a bodybuilding style gym, whether it's commercial or a local hardcore gym, you take one piece of equipment and then you stay on that piece of equipment for the entirety of your exercise. You don't go and take 3 different pieces at the same time. That's called a circuit. If you want to do a circuit, there's nothing wrong with that. However, go join a fucking CrossFit gym. There is 1,000 CrossFit gyms in each town you go to. They'll have plenty of selection of CrossFit gyms and they'll love you doing circuits there because that's their style of training. Nothing wrong with that. However, don't bring that into a bodybuilding style gym. What I hate seeing is somebody walk up to the power rack, do a set of barbell back squats, drape their sweatshirt over the barbell, walk over to the leg extension machine, do a set over there, leave their water bottle, and then walk over to the leg press machine, do another set, and walk back to the power rack with someone standing there and they go, "Oh, I'm using that." Again, no. Don't do this. Pick one piece of equipment, stay on it, perform your exercise, and then when the next piece of equipment is free, move on to that one. Number 3, not wiping down the piece of equipment you were using once you're done with it. Now, to me, this goes back to when people were children and their parents taught them to clean up after themselves. If you weren't taught this as a kid, I can imagine it being very hard for you as an adult. Now, this was proper gym etiquette before COVID. It's 2025, people. We live in a post-COVID world. Even before that, it was disgusting and still the right thing to do was to wipe down your machine. When public gyms reopened, the workers would frequently come up to people and remind them to wipe down their machines because not only was it just the right thing to do in the first place, it's pretty much the law at that point. New gym goers, if you're not somebody who cleans up in the place that they currently live in, don't go to the gym and bring that same attitude with you. From day one, after you're done using a piece of equipment, you should walk over, grab a paper towel, spray the paper towel with the disinfectant, walk back, wipe it down, throw the paper towel away. Let's move on to number 4, and this one is to help out all the hard-working gym employees out there. And that's not re-racking your weights. In my opinion, the people who don't re-rack their weights are the same type of people who, when they take their dog on a walk, don't pick up that dog's shit. If you don't do that, it's not the dog's fault, it's yours. And you are dog shit. Look, it's an extremely lazy and uncourteous thing to do to take either the plates or dumbbells that you used and just leave them on the floor after you're done with them to walk away to go live your merry life. I love walking in and seeing a clean, organized gym where everything is in its proper place. Unfortunately, not everyone else enjoys that same vision that I do and just enjoys being a lazy piece of crap and having someone else pick up after them. Let me explain this to you. The employees at the gym are not your mothers. They're not there to pick up your toys once you're done with them. If you go to the gym, you're an adult. Even if you're 16 years old and you go to the gym, you're in an adult environment and you need to act accordingly. So if you use a barbell, when you're done with it, rack the barbell, unrack the weights, and put them in their proper place. If you use a pair of dumbbells, doesn't matter what size, when you're done with them, re-rack them in the right position on the rack. So many things on this list are just common sense to me, and I know to many others of you watching. However, the small percentage of people that do these bad things are fucking it up for the rest of us. Real quick, don't forget to comment, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot to me and encourages me to keep going to make these videos. Number 5, stacking different size plates on the same rack. I hate when all I need is a 5-pound plate to add to each side of the barbell. When I go up to get it, it's buried underneath a 45, a 35, and a 25. Are you really gonna stand there and unrack those weights, put them on the right pegs just to get a measly 5-pound plate? If you're committed, maybe you will, but most people won't, and they shouldn't have to. Weight plates need to go on the appropriate rack or peg that are marked for that weight. Look, I know at commercial gyms, a lot of these spots aren't marked, but it is pretty common sense that if you see a peg or rack that already has multiple plates of the same size on it, just to continue putting your plates there of the appropriate size when you're done. I really appreciate walking into a gym regardless of the brand and seeing all the same size weights on the same racks or pegs. For some reason, it kind of calms my brain. And I know a lot of other people are like this too. This also ties back into helping gym employees not have to do extra work, because let's be honest, most of them don't make much money and they shouldn't really have to do any extra work for that money. Also, like I mentioned before, all of our time is important, and this just keeps things moving efficiently and smoothly in the gym, because now if you have a desired weight, you don't have to unrack a bunch of others to get to it, wasting your time and, more importantly, your energy, when you could be putting that into the exercise you actually want to perform. Number 6, talking with your friends instead of actually working out. Look, I have no problem when I see people going to the gym with a few of their friends, because ultimately I think if you do it correctly, it can boost morale and push you to compete further, doing things that you probably wouldn't do if your friends weren't there. What pisses me off is when I see 3 people standing around the same piece of equipment, talking, laughing, showing each other videos or pictures on their phones, and not doing what they're actually supposed to be doing in the gym, which is working out and pushing each other to new intensities. Now, personally, I have no problem motivating or pushing myself to new intensities when I'm running solo. But when I have worked out with people in the past, I also enjoy that very much too. But anytime I am in a group, I make sure we're not treating it like a social club and wasting other people's time who are waiting for that piece of equipment. It's totally fine, and you should take time between sets to regroup, catch your breath, and get ready for your next set. But don't be standing there like a bunch of jackasses wasting the most important thing that people have they can never get back, which is their time. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, it's the broccoli head high schoolers that are doing this. That's partially true. However, I have also seen this from anyone regardless of age, from 70-year-olds down to 16-year-olds. It's not an age thing, it's a consideration thing. Go in, have a good time with your buddies. You can joke and laugh, but don't take more than 2 minutes between sets. Speaking of time between sets, let's jump into number 7, which is sitting on your phone for 5 minutes or more in between your sets. Here's a great guideline to follow of how long your rest period should be in between sets, because it does depend on what exercise you're doing. On heavy-ass compound lifts, it's acceptable and totally fine to take about 5 minutes or maybe even a little bit more in between your sets. You just tax the shit out of your central nervous system, and you do need time to let it regroup so that you can perform better on your next set. On isolation exercises such as bicep curls and side lateral raises, typically you shouldn't really need more than 2 minutes between sets to rest. If you're resting any longer than 2 to 3 minutes on your isolation exercises, there's a good chance that you're just resting too long, and you could be moving on to the much set next faster, thus saving you more time from being in the gym. This tip is the whole gym as an ecosystem, because it does keep things moving faster and more efficiently, and again, not wasting anyone else's time, but it's also really helpful for you as an individual, because it really focuses on wasting less of your time, which to me is the most important thing I have. Number 8, grunting or yelling while lifting light weight. We've all seen that guy who's deadlifting 135 pounds, yet it seems like his head's about to explode from all the yelling he's doing. Anytime I see this and it legitimately is lightweight, I always think to myself, dang, that guy looks and sounds really insecure. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone is lifting heavy weight and it really is heavy for them, then I'm cool with the grunting and screaming, but it doesn't have to be to your max effort level. I know and have seen guys who are absurdly strong hit crazy PRs and never let out a sound. Don't be that guy or girl who just sounds super obnoxious and it seems like they want the whole gym to watch them lift. This is especially cringe when you're that person who gets on a leg press and loads up about 6 plates on each side, only to give about 2 inches for range of motion. You sound like me an hour after I've eaten about a pound of Taco Bell and I've been stuck in the restroom for a while. Again, I'm not hating if your screams and grunts are legitimately real and you're not doing it for attention. I often do grunt when I'm lifting heavy weights, and I know I definitely breathe heavy. And I will say the first time I ever hit 405 on a deadlift, I did go, woo! However, that was the only time in my whole lifting career that I've ever done something like that. I haven't done it since. Save your screams for the moments that really are special, and don't be that clown that everyone cringes at when he walks in because they know what they're about to hear. Number 9, trashing the bathroom. Once again, if you're someone who does something like this, you are a piece of crap. Why would you spend time trashing the bathroom at a location that you pay to be at? It makes 0 sense in my mind. I can't even count the number of memes I've seen online from gym owners saying, this is what I thought owning a gym would be like. This is the reality of owning a gym. And each time it's some picture of the restroom being trashed and crap just overflowing from the toilet. Horrible. Again, in my opinion, This breaks down to your morals and who you truly are as a person. If you're someone who trashes the restroom of any kind, then I genuinely believe that there's something wrong with you and you should seek professional help, because it truly is psychotic that you would trash a restroom that no one's forcing you to be at and that you have to pay for. You're a dumbass. What sucks is that after I'm done with that restroom transaction, I go to wash my hands, and instead of being able to use paper towels to fully dry them off because I need a good grip from what I'm about to go do, I have to use the shitty little air dryer, and it only gets about a quarter of the way dry. I will say that I found a solution to this. I wash my hands, and then I go up to the gym floor, and in all the cleaning stations, they have plenty of paper towels. Before I start lifting, I just go over, take those, use them for my hands, throw them in the trash. And yes, this is definitely a first world problem, but it's still something that makes me mad. Don't trash restrooms, be better than that. And once again, remember, somebody is gonna have to come in and clean up after you. Just imagine if that was your mom, dad, brother, aunt, I don't care. You wouldn't want your family having to do that. Don't make some stranger do it either. Number 10, being completely naked in the locker room. Now, hold on. I know what you're thinking. This isn't something that makes you a bad person. And you're right, it doesn't. It's something that makes me extremely uncomfortable, and I don't like it. Whenever I ask someone how they feel on this subject, it's almost always split down the middle of 50-50. 50 being I hate, 50 being doesn't bother me, or I'm cool with it. However, I'm definitely on the side of hating it. Now, don't get me wrong, I fully appreciate that this is a gym locker room and that anyone who does this is completely allowed to, and I'm never gonna say anything, that's for sure. Look, it's true for myself and many others that after we get done working out and we're going in to take our final piss before going home, that I don't wanna walk in and see some dude's meat swinging around when I'm just trying to get in and out as quickly as possible. And no, it's not because I'm insecure. Only a little bit because I'm insecure. If these guys literally just wrapped a towel around their waist and walked around the locker room, the problem would be completely solved. But alas, I feel as though this issue will never get completely resolved because, like Democrats and Republicans, the war will always go on. Well, there you have it. My top 10 list of rude things people do in the gym. If you agree, hit the like button and comment on when you find the most rude. If you disagree, still hit the like button and leave a comment on why you disagree. Either way, that'd be cool for me. Also, I'm trying to get to 1K subs here, and to be honest, it's a bit of a grind. You helping me out by hitting that subscribe button would be immensely appreciated.